Hola a todos! Hi everyone, Carla here, your coach and trainer of NLP and host of this Metafit Metamind podcast, the place where we normalize the conversations between both physical and mental health. This is the place where you'll raise your voice and share your story. As your coach, I'm here to guide you to let go of all your limiting chains behind, and I'm on a mission to use this platform to empower and create awareness and expansion in your life. You can follow us on Instagram at Metafit Metamind Podcast, on my other page at Coach Carlita. Go join the community at Metafit Metamind Community. So make sure that you continue to like the podcast, subscribe to it, and also here on YouTube, make sure you like the videos and subscribe. All right, so time for some updates. So, something that I am really excited to just share with you, it's a little bit more of a personal update, and you probably already noticed it, was that this past weekend I went and got a tattoo. I know. I went to the Austin Tattoo Invitational this past weekend, and I honestly would just went to look. Sometimes I joke, and my friends and my family, we joke that we're just looking, right? But it turns out that I came out with this, and I just want to show it to you because I love it. It is beautiful. It is powerful. No, I'm not a Leo. A lot of people have asked me that, but I find that this has been a symbol in my life that I really am drawn towards, and something that I just feel like I've been waiting for. And so if you ever want to get tattooed by this artist, I totally recommend him. I'm actually going to pull my phone out because I'm going to tell you what his Instagram is. This tattoo artist is amazing, like I said. So this artist is so amazing. So if you're ever in the Sacramento area, I believe that's where he's at in California. Definitely go check his stuff out on Instagram. He's at Bo McCoy Art. I'll put the link below. But yeah, look at this. So nice. Anyway, that's not what this is about, but I just wanted to show it because I'm really happy with it. The other update that I have is that I have been feeling really good in the last couple weeks, been really excited, really motivated. As you know, I've been sharing a little bit of my journey with this mental health company that I partnered up with a couple weeks ago. I asked my mom to join as well. She did because in her past she's experienced anxiety and bits of depression and stuff. And so far, so good for her as well. I need to ask her for more details, right? But I know that already in the first 3 days that she did a reboot, that her belly started to be and look less swollen. And so I'm just really excited and just continuing on this journey to feel good, to be excited, to just start the day less fatigued, more energized, more looking forward to the rest of the day. Normally I say, hey, it's about making the day how you want it, but like literally, it feels like it's so easy, and I'm just really excited about it. The other update that I have is that I am planning an online certification training in the next couple months. And so, if that's something that you're looking for, whether you're a coach, a new coach, wanting to be a coach, NLP coaching is something that just takes you in a deeper dive of communication, getting clarity, helping your clients getting out of those situations or those states of emotion that they don't want to be in. If that's something that you want to know more about, definitely send me a message and I will tell you all those details and when those dates are coming up. So that's it for these updates. And I will continue to update and tell you more. Definitely go follow me so you can see any of the daily updates that I have. But something that I do want to tell you about is that in this episode, I had someone really special, Laurie Ivins. She is a life realignment coach. She's an NLP trainer. She's a professional speaker. She is the owner of this really cool company called Treasure House Earth. And really cool stuff. She also is the co founder and advisor of a local nonprofit here in Central Texas called The Key to Free ATX, which is a nonprofit for fighting against sex trafficking. So definitely check this out. And in this episode, she shares her journey, her story, what's gotten her to here, the journey of continuing to learn and continuing to be curious at her age, and just someone who's inspirational, to be honest. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Let me know in the comments what you think, and definitely reach out to her if you want to know more about that nonprofit and also her crystal company. So enjoy the episode and make sure that you like the video and subscribe. Hi everyone. So today I'm really excited to have someone super special who I've known since, I want to say, back in 2020. She became my fellow coach in our breakthroughs going through our NLP trainings. And so I have here on Metafit Metamind Laurie Ivins. She is someone super special, like I said, and someone who I cherish as part of my journey. So Laurie, thank you so much for being on here.
Oh, thank you so much, Carla, for having me. I'm so excited to be part of Metafit Metamind.
Yeah, and I think I've been trying to get you on the podcast for a while already. And you're like, we can coordinate the time and stuff, and I'm just always happy to have somebody here who, we've gone through this certification process together, and also someone who I think has so much knowledge and that I can learn a lot from. So yeah, so I'm really excited for that.
60 years of wisdom here. That's it.
Like, yeah, 6-0, the big 6-0.
Uh-huh.
So you see, that's what I'm gonna get to. Like, all right, when I'm 60 years old, this is the wisdom I'm gonna have, like Laurie.
That's right.
So Laurie, tell me, this is something I always ask people. Some people find this question interesting, or maybe it's a tricky question. But
Okay.
What I want to know is, who is Laurie?
Oh my goodness. Laurie is so complicated, but yet so easy. I'm not a high maintenance person.
Mm-hmm.
I am somebody who is very faith focused. My values are faith, family, and freedom.
Oh.
And that kind of encompasses who I am and what's important to me and how I try to live my life with integrity. And I am a mom of 4 men.
Yeah.
And a grandmom, a yaya to 4 grandkids,
Aww,
2
yaya.
boys and 2 girls. So that's pretty special. Married 42 years, high school sweetheart.
Wow.
So just turned 61 this year. So I've got, lots of life experience and wisdom. I love all things old. I love rocks and crystals and I really like and embrace serving others. That's kind of one of my core values, is to serve others through a co-founder of a nonprofit and have been for 10 years, serving in an advisory capacity right now. So yeah, that's just a little bit about Laurie.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm always learning. So you're never too old to start learning. So this whole self-discovery, self-development, growth path that we've been on for the last 2 years, it's, so much has changed, and I've been able to just see little steps, maybe not huge, big breakthroughs, like, major transformations, but it's the little things that build up to the aha moments. It's like, oh yeah, okay, good.
Yeah. That's awesome. And let me ask you this, because there's so much wisdom in these 60 years, going on 61. First of all, congratulations on the commitment too, and it being in a relationship, with the high school sweetheart. I don't think a lot of people have that mindset that you can be with that person for a while. And I'm sure we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But what I want to know is, what is that story that you want to share, or that chapter in your life that got you to get to this place of self-discovery, self-growth, and all the cool things you're doing with, your business, with the nonprofit, and with you being a coach and of service?
Mm-hmm. Listen, I have always been interested. I'm a learning learner, always a student. The student loan forgiveness thing that's going on, it's like, yeah, I'm still going to pay my student loan for 20 something years. And, it's my loan, it's my debt, I'm paying it. But just the whole process of learning, as long as you're learning, you never stop growing. Mm-hmm. So when I'm able to learn something new, to take on a new project, it just so excites me. And just the commitment that you have for yourself. And it hasn't always been easy. I mean, I'm one who doesn't talk a whole lot. I observe, and I'm very careful with what I say. And, you know, we do the best we can with the resources we have at the time. And as a mom, you know I screwed up a lot of times. But at this point in my life, I can look back and just, you know, it's okay because I did what I knew was best at the time. And so each step in each season of my life that the transition has been, I mean, it's just I'm always learning.
Yeah.
And it's just so fulfilling. And it doesn't have to be anybody else around you learning as well. You don't all have to be on the same journey, and you're never ever going to be on the same journey. For me, just to find my path and be okay with the seasons that I have has just been kind of refreshing. And for me to see that, you know, I can change. I'm, you know, the age I am, and I can still change, and there's still room for growth. And I don't have to be that person I was at 20 or 40. And, you know, we all have options.
Yeah. So what is it that like finally was like, I gotta do that. I gotta change, you know, or even dive into you going for this, for coaching and thinking like I can still learn. I'm this learning learner, because it's really cool to be able to continue to learn, that you being your age, you're like, you know what, I can still learn. There's so much, you know, I've got all these many years still that I can use this knowledge. Because I think that's something I've learned that I didn't know before. And, you know, with having a model, I should say, like you, that I'm like, cool, at that age, I could still learn some more. Like, what was it that was like, yes, I can learn all this other stuff too?
Well, 2 years ago, whenever we started on this journey it was actually their first online class during COVID.
Yeah.
And it was a hypnosis class.
Yeah. Oh, we were on that together, huh?
Yeah. And it was just so refreshing that so many people and so variation of people were in the class, taking the class. I was able to just look at it and just be open to, yes, there are things that I can change. And the moment was, you know, when they ask you for the offer at the end, you know, it's like, well, of course, I don't want to stop learning. You know, I need the next step. And that's always kind of been my MO, is like, oh, this is good, but what's the next step? I need more. But that's just because you learn things is not where it stops. A lot of people always say that knowledge is power, but to me, it's not the knowledge that's the power. It's the action that you take once you have the knowledge that's the power. So when you're always moving in a forward motion, you're always learning. You're always, that's where you get your power, is just the movement. And, you know, I can sit here, and I have in the past sit here, and I just have so much knowledge. You know, I went back to college when I was 30, when all 4 of my kids were already in school. And I had, you know, it's just like, okay, I'm going for public relations.
Okay.
And I've got a degree in public relations, but that's not enough. So I had to stretch myself. And so I double majored. And so I have 2 majors, and my other one is in cultural anthropology. And that's my passion.
Yeah.
And so here I was, a 35-year-old woman, the oldest one of all of my college classes, and I double majored, and I was able to go up on stage, and all 4 of my kids and my family were able to see me. And that was just me reaffirming to my family that how important education is. And just the steps on learning the NLP, the Neuro Linguistic Programming, and the quantum time techniques and hypnosis. Yeah. That's just one more step in order for us to create this whole system for us that we're able to just continue. And we don't want to keep it just for ourselves, because in the past, I can sit and I have stories in my head, and I have experiences, but I don't, in the past, I don't verbalize them. So I'm not helping anybody by keeping what we have inside. I'm only able to help other people is when I can get my story out.
Yes.
And so that's what the NLP training has helped me to do, is to find my voice, to get my story out, because I know that my passion and my purpose in life, that what God gave and instilled in me is what he put for my dream, that he didn't give my dream to somebody else. And so for me, all these years looking for somebody else to confirm what my dream is or what my passion or purpose is has, not worked. It is, he put the passion in me or the purpose in me, and I'm able to just keep building on that with my story. And now that I have found my voice, I'm able to verbalize and to help other people. So I'm able to help like young women, young mothers who are going through the same struggles that I might have gone through, or, women in their 50s who are transitioning to husbands retiring, or they're retiring, or kind of where are they now that they're empty nesters. And so that's just kind of where that is right now.
And let me ask you this, because I find this very interesting, is, that you say God put this purpose in you, or instilled this purpose in you to share this knowledge, to share it through storytelling, which I'm glad you're here sharing your story. Because I know you were nervous about it, but you know what? You're doing so great. How does it feel though, right? Like, it feels good?
Yes. Like, I don't think I'm blushing or anything yet.
No, you actually, and normally Laurie, like, she comes with some jokes. Y'all haven't seen her like in person, but she's got some jokes. And so this purpose that he instilled in you, is that something that you always knew you had, or when you decided, okay, I'm gonna go to school, you graduating at 35, showing the family, like, is that where you started to even notice this purpose, or when do you think that even was like, I see it?
My first purpose I knew was to be a mom, and to be a good mom, and to be a good wife. And, again, going back to 60, that's the generation that I was raised in, and that's okay. That was my purpose. And I know that for future generations, God put me in a position to be a mom of 4 boys for a reason, because I'm raising men to be men in their households. And so I felt that my role was very important, because I was tasked with some, major duties. I had to raise these boys up, and,
all boys.
To be gentle. Yeah, all boys. Yep. To be gentlemen, to be kind, to encompass all the things. And I've known my purpose for, oh my gosh, probably 40 years now. And it's always to be on stage and to be a motivational speaker, an empowering speaker.
Yes.
And that's always been my passion, but that hasn't been who I was, because I had all these limiting beliefs. We're raised a lot of times with things that people tell you, an outside influence. You can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, you'd be good at that, but not that. And these things become part of our behavior. And that becomes the story that we tell ourselves. Even though I want to be on stage, being a motivational speaker, cracking jokes, making people laugh, and being funny, it's like I'm a very reserved person. I'm very calculated. I'm very controlling as far as my posture, my words, and anything about me. But as I grow and learn, I'm able to just kind of shed off those onion peels and, just be this little blossom out here.
Yes.
So one day.
It's coming. Especially, if anybody wants to have Laurie on stage, you send me a message.
That's right.
We are motivators. And I really love that you said that you found your voice to, through the breakthroughs, going through our training and stuff, because I think I went through the same thing, not really being reserved, like you said, and kind of in this place of, I don't know about that, and I don't think I can have that, these limiting beliefs, like that, is that even possible, right? Or attainable? And then now, like, our voice is unlocked, and we're like, oh, woohoo, like, we're gonna go and do all the things, and they tell us, hey, go on stage, and you're like, oh, I wasn't prepared, but okay, like, let's go, right? And we now, like, there's this like different thing. And so yeah, I really resonate with you with that, with, you know, finding your voice. And I think you and I connected also during our break, that was like, oh, like we have similar things, similar, you know, I'm 31, and like I already feel like that connection to you. I'm like, oh, I've experienced that, you know. And seeing you is like so inspiring to say, hey, like there is more attainable, there is more that can be achieved. And so that's what gets me really, really excited.
Yes. If you can learn this stuff at your age, I mean, just think of where you're going to be when you're 61. I mean, you know, just you know, it's going to blow you away. It's just going to be so amazing that, you know, and the generations that you're going to affect, you know, whether it's your lineage or somebody else's lineage, but you're going to be the reason that somebody else, some other young woman is able to stand up and speak her voice.
And I think it's also that you mentioned that is that, you know, you at this age too, and I know we're bringing this age a lot, but I think it's amazing. I know it's amazing that you are doing all this stuff, because there's a lot of other people who are in their 60s, and I'll say my mom too. Like, she is, what is my mom? She's in her 60s. Mom, I won't say the age, but because she's one of the, but you know, she's finally being her age starting to be like, oh, okay, I'll read this self-development book, because to her it was very like, not that's not how it is, or it was more like the religion kept her in this place. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that was her container, knowledge, her container. And so now her seeing me, she was like, oh, there's these things that I can do. Oh, I can let go of anxiety, because that's something she experienced a lot. And so finally, you know, this thing is now unlocking, being a little more than 60, and it doesn't matter. But the cool thing too is that you are also showing your grandkids, like, hey, it's never too late. You know, you can start now, and if you don't, hopefully they start now. But if that were the case, challenges in life, right, experiences, this is never too late. You can always learn more, which I think is really cool.
Yes.
And tell me about what led you to start your nonprofit. Tell us a little bit about the nonprofit you have. I think you said you've been running that for 10 years?
I've been on the board for 10 years. We started it. It was, so 10 years ago, through our church, we had a mission trip. And God had already put on my heart that I needed to go on a mission. And we had many opportunities for mission work. And this one came across. We worked with A21, which is an international human trafficking, anti-human trafficking organization. And we worked with them. There were 16 women that went, and it was in Greece.
Wow.
So I'm thinking Greece for a first mission trip, score. And then it was in a hotel and not in a hut or, you know, in non-air conditioned conditions. And so, you know, another checkbox there. And the hotel was actually next to a Starbucks. So it's like, mission trip. Okay, I'm going. But we had gone, we spent 10 days in Greece, just walking in the footsteps of what the international organization does, and them showing us over the 10 days how easy it is for women and men to be trafficked throughout Europe. And when we got back home, several of us thought that, you know, and this was, like I said, 10 years ago, and human trafficking wasn't really big on people's minds or in the lingo or the verbiage, anything like that. And there was a lady who, her name was Amy, and she came to a group of us and said, you know, God has put on her heart that we need to start an organization here in Central Texas. And there were several of us, 6 of us, who kind of took up our armor and went with her, and we formed the organization, which is called The Key to Free. And it's been in Central Texas. We assist women, anybody who has been sex trafficked, with, oh goodness, anything from housing to support services, aftercare services. We work with families of the survivors as well, because they go through a lot as well. We partner with community therapists and doctors, medical professionals, to get them the services that they need. We rely on donations.
Mm-hmm.
And our website is thekeytofreetx.org, so anybody can check that out.
I'll put the link in the description as well. Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons I had got into this was there was a young lady many years ago who left her husband and 2 kids and thought she needed a way out or a reason. And through a series of unfortunate events, she ended up being trafficked here in Austin.
Wow.
And another incident was my son, Cody, who is a big advocate for me as far as whatever I do. All my boys are. Yeah. But Cody was at a bar one night and talking to somebody about trafficking and what his mom does. And this boy came to sit down beside him, and his name was John, I think. And John had made a comment to Cody that, that's really great that, your mom and the organization helps all these women, and because it's needed. He said, but, it doesn't help the men that are trafficked. And he went on to tell my son that he had been trafficked in Austin for 7 years.
Wow.
And there was no help for him. My son then proceeded to give him our business card, and I don't know whether he called or not, but it's just so needed here in, Austin, Central Texas area, even where I live in Georgetown. I mean, it goes on all the time.
So it happens a lot more than we see it, especially here in the big cities that you think, okay, that doesn't happen. That happens out in like all these other countries. Like,
and that's what we thought when we first went to Greece, was it happened somewhere else, not here, but it happens in our own backyard.
Yeah.
And so I'm a big advocate of, speaking to organizations about human trafficking and about the Key to Free and the things that we can do to, to help this movement and the survivors of trafficking.
Yeah. And the reason I wanted to ask you about this is because it's really important for us to get this out, to have this topic out, because this is about sharing those stories, those journeys, and also getting this ability to be able to help others, right, through the stories and what's shared. And I think it's inspirational what you're doing in all of this. And so, in this whole process, what do you think is been like that big breakthrough for you in doing the nonprofit work, doing the coaching, and even getting into the speaking place, this purpose that you've been following?
I think that just the whole purpose is we just have to get out of our own way. I mean, we have so much inside of us. Every one of us do. And even your listeners out there, they might not think that they have a purpose, a voice, or, a reason other than going to their 9-to-5 job or whatever they do. But there is something within you, and to me, service is, that's how we fulfill ourselves, is through serving others. That's how I find joy, is when I'm helping somebody else. And, that's just a big part of who I am. Repeat the question. I just totally
what was your, no, I love it. I love it.
Moment.
I love it, because this is your essence, right? That spirit speaking, sharing what that is. And so I was just saying, like, about that breakthrough that you've had in this whole process, or like that biggest wisdom that you had, and I think you did answer it. So good. So let me ask you, what's something that you are excited about coming up, or some goals that you have coming?
Well, sure. There's a couple of things that I'm collaborating with on a few people. But one of the big things that I'm working on right now is a 3-month program called Essential Element Transformation.
Oh,
it's where I take clients. Okay. It's where I take clients who are mostly women and who have experienced fear. I apologize for I've got 4 dogs in my house.
Good.
Who have experienced fear. And, fear for me is, it's just so debilitating and just makes us freeze and doesn't let us move. And, I can just feel it on me. And fear to me is like false evidence appearing real. Another way I looked at fear.
I like that. I had to literally say that, and it spells fear.
When you think about it, it's like, okay, this is a lie. This is a lie somebody's telling me. Fear. It's not true. Another way to look at it is fear. You can face everything and rise. I mean, you have a choice. You can stand up, make your power pose. Whatever it is, Superman, Superwoman, Thor, whoever. And you can just face it and just plow right through it. And with the tools and the NLP that we know and that we teach our clients, you as well, it's not a scary thing. Because we will guide you through that every step of the way. So as coaches, as mentors, as guides, and we can just walk you through that path of whatever the fear is. And, the first step of that is just being honest with yourself. In which a lot of us are not. We play a story in our head and we're sticking to it. It's like, no, I'm not going to be honest with myself, because if I'm honest with myself, then I have to be vulnerable. And oh my good Lord, I'm not going to be vulnerable to anybody because then, that's a sign society said that's weak, so I'm not going to be weak. I'm going to be strong. And it's just this whole pile of mountain crap that just starts building on top of each other. But anyway, my program is Fear to Free. And so the free, help them walk through the stages in the process to become free. Because once you're able to just peel off again, like the onion peel of the fear that just holds you to it, when you're free, when you have actualized the true freedom of being joy and having peace and being able to speak your voice and not being afraid to say who you are and what you want, then so many things can just fall into place. And as a 61-year-old woman, and I'm just now feeling peace and joy at some portion of my life. And it is just so freeing. It's just, I don't know how else to say it. It's just,
that's what it is.
It is. It's just so freeing. So, and then another thing, just real quick, on my coaching programs, because I am so passionate about serving others, whenever a client signs up with me, I have a give back program. So before any kind of funds transfer, or they pay me or anything, I have them specifically go to the organization to make a donation. And then at the end of the year, I'll match whatever all my clients donated, and so that we can make a bigger impact.
Oh, that's awesome.
So just little bitty steps like that can make a huge difference.
Those accumulated amounts throughout the year is going to make that big impact. No, I love that.
One of the quotes, I don't know if we're about to wrap up or anything, but it's from Henry Ford. And it's, if you think you can or you can't, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
So the mind, you can believe or achieve anything you want to do or don't want to do. So wouldn't it be better if you just believed that you could and gone through and just, accepted, I can do it. I can do it. So
I love that. And let me ask you this, because I think you may have answered the question, but let me ask you, is that something that you would teach somebody that wants to learn from you? Or what is something that you would teach somebody that has maybe gone through a similar path as you and they want to learn from you?
Okay. One of my big aha moments through when you and I were doing our breakthrough work with Jaeger was anxiety. And now I'm, many, many years, anxiety medication, insomnia, sleep medication, all these years. I was the mom who was always and had to control things. Everything had to be in its place. It had to appear on the outside that everything was perfect. If I always felt like a juggler. If everything was up in the air, if I let go of one thing, then, oh my gosh, my world was going to fall apart. I was able to let go of anxiety. Today I can tell you that I'm not on my anxiety medication, and that is so
Yes.
major for me. And it's like, I have no need to control anybody else because I know that I'm the only one that can control myself.
Yes.
And if I'm doing that, then I am accomplishing a hell of a lot because
Yes.
I'm in control of my emotions, and that's what I can control.
Heck
So if
yes.
anybody is out there that has anxiety issues, insomnia, because it's just like a domino effect. So once I was able to get my anxiety under control, then that helped me to sleep better. And when I slept better, then that helped me to wake up to be a better person and not like a bitch all the time.
Yeah.
And then when I was a better person during the day, that means my family was a better, unit. So I guess anxiety and just the
This.
fear. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and that's what it's connected to. And you talking about that in your experience, that correlation between mental and physical health, how has that played out?
Um,
And I think you touched on it right now with anxiety. But what else did it cause after you got off of those things? And what was that correlation?
When I got off of my anxiety meds, and obviously check with your doctor. I'm not a medical professional.
Yeah. Nope. No, we're not.
No, we are not.
Y'all gotta ask first.
This was my personal journey that I took. Just the physical, the way I felt about myself. I mean, I truly believe that 90% of our health is our mind, and everything else is, dependent on that. And so once I was able to get my mind in the space to where, I can be healthy, I can be healed. I still have I don't have ailments or anything like that. I have a weight issue right now that I'm always trying to work through, but I have no other physical problems whatsoever. I'm not on anything else. And so it's just my mind that that I've always got to build and strengthen, like pump that iron and, keep it moving. So
I love it.
One of the other, I know that maybe a lot of people fly, and one of the things that really stands out to me is how most of us as women, we do so much and we help so many people, but oftentimes that we feel drained or depleted, and when we feel like that, we're not able to really fully step into our power and to help other people. So it's kind of like when the stewardesses and the plane, they start going through their safety protocol, and what do they tell you when the cabin pressure goes down? And who do you put it on first?
Right here. You got to put it on yourself first.
Yep. And why do we do that?
Well, how are we gonna be able to even protect anybody else if we're not breathing?
That's right.
Exactly.
So why don't we take that same advice in our life? I mean, we have to fill our own cup. We have to do things that are self-healing for us in order for us to help our family, our husbands, our kids, our grandkids, our extended family.
Yeah.
So why is it so hard for women to step into I need help? I need to work on me.
Yes.
And so when I have finally said, I need to work on me, and that's when it's just kind of like opened up, and, the floodgates is like, boom. Oh, okay, I'm working on me. And you just see the ripple effect all through, your family and your friends.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. And, you've dropped so many nuggets, so many like inspirational things here, and so many takeaways that you can use for whenever, right? If it's for the anxiety, like knowing that it's in your mind, it's your choice, right? The precept that we learn is I am in control of my mind, therefore my results, right? So remembering that, right? Remembering that you can, because just like Laurie, she made a choice and she changed a lot of that, and now like it's starting to ripple into like, okay, sleeping better, feeling better,
Mm-hmm.
not being, the old
Mm-hmm.
thing that there was there. So thank you for all of that. And if somebody wanted to reach out to you for the coaching
Mm-hmm.
or for supporting the nonprofit, how can they reach you?
Yep. LaurieIvins.com is my coaching and consulting business.
It'll be somewhere here.
Okay. And then the nonprofit, The Key to Free, is thekeytofreetx.org. And then, I'll throw my crystal business in there. My sister and I have a crystal business.
Yeah, she's got some really beautiful crystals.
Yes. So
I actually have one I bought up here from you, actually.
Yes. So we have an online, and my sister and I, she's a few years younger than I. So we started this business just 2 years ago during the pandemic, and we're an online store, and we sell our crystals just because.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we are rock people, and it is another creation that God has bestowed upon this planet, that it's just a gift that he has given us, and we are just so excited to share it with others. And that is treasurehouseearth.com. And we will be going to market next week and coming back with some awesome, beautiful new products. And so, follow us, check us out.
Yeah. So I'll post all the links, all the places where you can find Laurie. Thank you so much, Laurie, for sharing your story, your journeys, all this inspiration, this motivation.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
I hope it motivated and inspiration for some, and just reach out anytime.